But I'll just go ahead and get started, but feel free to ask whatever questions you may have about the presentation. But let's go ahead and just talk about it real quick. I like to just do a brief intro, kind of where we're at. UniFi has grown from we first started with an access point to where we have grown to be able to fill in this end-to-end IT solution. Everything from routing, switching, Wi-Fi to cameras, physical security, and door access control. We just released another AMP device. We have two audio devices on our AMP line on UniFi Play. We've got we launched in the last year. We launched our first NAS device. We have all these different categories, and we're trying to position ourselves as being an end-to-end IT vendor that you can trust. We make products that we try to make the highest quality products we can they offer the best experience, and we want to make it all easy to manage on a large scale. So a lot of you in this call today are probably MSPs or integrators. We try to develop a lot of features that makes your job easy. And so with our site manager, which is a core part of our offerings, you can manage all your UniFi products. Whatever UniFi product you install, you can manage it worldwide from wherever you're at with our cloud service without any licenses associated with that. And so this is a really big deal. I mean, we offer a lot of flexibility with how you manage your UniFi deployments. And so we give you the power and the resources you need to be successful in scaling your UniFi deployments. Recently, we've really been working a lot on improving automated management and monitoring for your customers. So for those MSPs integrators in this call, we've recently been rolling out our alarm manager for all our applications, including UniFi Access, UniFi Protect, and UniFi Network. And with this, it means that you have the ability now. Let's say that you're a small team that's doing a lot of installs, but you want to build up your recurring revenue by maintaining sites for your customers. That can be challenging with a small company. And I know I've been there. I work from an IT background myself. That's what I did previously to coming here. And I know how spread thin you can be sometimes. But with UniFi, we're trying to create some features that make your life easy. And so with this new alarm manager, you can set custom thresholds for customer sites. If certain performance metrics are met, let's say they have enough packet loss on their WAN, you can set up to automatically look for a certain threshold. Let's say they're seeing a reasonable amount of packet loss. You can have it set up to automatically create a ticket for your team to review. You can also set up even automations, including things like we're going to use a webhook that's going to go and trigger a script that's going to reboot the router, or we're going to do or the modem upstream from the UniFi router. You can have it set up to do things like that. So what's great about this is you guys can really automate your job of monitoring and maintaining your deployments and really scale it up as large as you need. So those are the types of features we're always trying to come out with to help make your job easier as MSPs and integrators. And so I assume most people on this call are probably from that background. We may have a few end users here. But today I'll try to cover it from whatever perspective you may be coming from. But definitely we have an exciting product for MSPs and integrators. Our core principle is kind of what sets us apart from other vendors. We are focused very much on releasing high quality hardware that offers that price to quality ratio that really helps customers be really happy with their investment when they go with UniFi. This means our products are very aggressive priced, they're competitive, and not only that, they have that no license model. And that's kind of our customer-centric business model where we're not concerned with, we're not trying to, and I think this is kind of a rarity at this point. I think all of us know what it's like to have so many different businesses and services we rely on moving to a recurring fee model and license-based model. With us, it's kind of refreshing in that we're not trying to do that to you. We're trying to keep things just focus on that hardware transaction and leave the rest of managing, scaling your business to be license free. So if you're an integrator using UniFi, you can deploy 1,000 deployments with UniFi and never pay us a cent in licensing fees and be able to build your business around UniFi without having to pay money to us. So we want you to take that money that you're making or that money that the customer is saving, and that can be money that's then used to generate recurring revenue for you and help you to be more successful. And that's our goal. We want everyone involved in the process, from the end user to the integrator MSP, all the way up the chain, to have a good experience with the product so you'll keep using it. And that brings us to our third kind of core principle, which is innovative software design. We approach our software with the utmost care. We try to develop a product that makes it easier for you to do your job. It has all the simplicity so that anyone can access it, use it, feel comfortable. You don't have to have a certification to manage a network in UniFi. What's cool though, We also have those advanced features that help even the more advanced administrators or MSPs to be able to get more value out of their UniFi deployments. And for us, since this is license free, what's cool about it, you guys buy a product with UniFi over the course of the next few years, it's going to mature in capabilities. The software is going to keep coming out with new software versions. They're going to add more features, and you get to access all of that at no charge. And the reason that we do that is because we see this is an investment. We want to invest in you to be successful. And if you invest in the end user, we invest in the MSP and integrator that's installing it, and they all have a good experience, then we're confident you'll keep working with us. And that's our goal. So we want to empower you to be successful, and we want to provide the resources you need to do that. And so just ways that we're trying to solve some of the basic pain points of traditional IT. Again, having worked from an IT background, it's difficult to manage all these different products side by side. Security is a challenge to keep everyone's account up to date and remove, if someone leaves the company, remove them so they don't have access to any of those platforms. That's a difficult task, especially if you're a small company or a small team. UniFi is trying to build this end-to-end IT solution that makes it easy to do that at scale. And so we keep releasing features that help you to do these things. Let's go ahead and talk about what we came here to talk about today, though. I don't want to spend all the time on the intro. Let's talk about the enterprise product portfolio. We're going to start out by reviewing some of the products that we've released within the last year that I think really put us on the map with enterprise and really help make us a really valid option to consider when you're doing a new deployment. So let's start by talking about our first UniFi enterprise product we released in the last, in this last year and a half. This is a part of our Enterprise Partner Program, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I just want to go through all the products that we've released and kind of how they add to our offerings. So the Fortress Gateway is the gateway that the cloud gateway we offer that can handle the most scale. This device is powerhouse. It can handle. We have a whole stadium running on one of these, and Memphis Grizzlies use a pair of these in high availability to provide access to all the public guests when they come to a game or to a concert there, their employees, all their infrastructure there, including their media and all that, all is behind this Enterprise Fortress Gateway, which can handle a very large scale. This is a 25 gig WAN interface on it, and it can support up to 5 WANs on this device. With 6 ports there, you can program any of the ports to be a WAN port for additional multi-WAN, including load balancing. We also introduced some new security features with this product, including SSL inspection, decryption. This gives you some really granular control over security. So let's say, an example of a use case that I see a lot with our enterprise products, if any of you deployed as schools, the Enterprise Fortress Gateway is a great router and gateway, next generation firewall device to be able to manage, to handle a school. It's got the features you need to be able to set up filters for if someone's going and doing a query about guns or about drugs and things like that. You can have it set up to automatically inspect any queries that they have and block any traffic using those. We just released a new content filtering platform that we've partnered with Cloudflare on that has over 100 categories of that you can block with content filtering. All these kind of next generation firewall features are built into this Enterprise Fortress Gateway, and this can handle whatever scale you need to throw at it. Like the FedEx Forum with its, they have something I can see the capacity of 18,000 people, and with all the people that bring their devices and want to connect to Wi-Fi, that's able to handle all that. And so for an enterprise environment, this is a great option, and it's built for redundancy. So it's got dual hot swappable PSUs on the back of it for power redundancy. And that's one of those features that I heard for years that people wanted from our products that was missing to make us a possible option for certain jobs that require high availability or critical uptime. With UniFi, now you have that high availability shadow mode, which means that if the primary gateway fails, it will automatically fail over to the second device. And with all the configurations synced up at all time, it can automatically switch over without dropping your calls. And so in real time, it'll be able to handle whatever kind of load you have going on at the time. What's cool too about it, if a power supply fails, you have a second power supply there that you can hot swap, replace that, and bring it back online so that if the primary power supply fails in the future, it'll automatically stay online. We've also got built into our switching infrastructure, other redundancy. I'll talk about it in just a minute, but this has really become a complete package for your firewall needs, and I think you'll find that the Enterprise Fortress Gateway has really increased our capabilities dramatically. Any questions about the Fortress Gateway before I move on to the other products?
I don't see any specific questions about it, Andrew.
Okay, well, let's move on. All right, so that brings us to the next product in our stack. So we released the Fortress Gateway I think it was last summer. And soon thereafter, we announced our switches. So the first of these is the Enterprise Campus Aggregation. This is Enterprise Campus switches are really built to handle the highest standard of traffic that you would have in an enterprise environment. And this ECS aggregation provides a great backbone for your network. So for large scale networks, what's great about this is we have the 48 SFP28 ports that do 25 gig or 10 gig on these fiber ports, and these can connect to all your different switches that are downstream, like the access switches throughout a school, for instance, or if you have IDFs, this can connect your MDF to all your IDFs throughout the deployment, and which is great. And with the 25 gig links here, we also have built into this 600 gig QSFP 2028. And so between, you can have two enterprise campus aggregation switches connected with those 100 gig ports, and with redundant ports on with two of those links going to each other, you can have them set up with MC lag. This device supports MC lag, has 5 hot swappable fan modules on the back, as you can see here, and 2 hot swappable PSUs. So for even more redundancy, if you have even a fan fails, you can rely on the other 4, swap it out, and then get a replacement for that. And with the MC lag, it ensures that switches that you're connected to can have fully redundant links, including being able to ensure there's no single point of failure, and that you have that full throughput with these for link aggregation. Let's go ahead and talk about the next product in our switch family. So we have the campus, these access switches, and these are really, I think you're going to sell a lot of these if you're doing enterprise deployments. These are really a core part of that offering. What's great about these is they update the standard of PoE. So we on these support PoE plus, as we label it here in short, but that's high power PoE, which means it can provide, I believe it's up to 90 watts of power per port. And this supports, with the use of 2 of those PSUs there, we supports up to 2150 watts of PoE availability. So that can handle a lot of the next, the current high-end PoE applications, whatever they are. And what's great about this too is it's also got that multi-gig deployment in mind. So with these, this has 4 25 gig SFP28 ports that you can connect back to the aggregation switch, and again, with that redundancy in mind, you can definitely rest assured that you've got no single point of failure on your network. What's cool here is it will also be rolling out at the end of the year this year. I think it's gonna come in this quarter, the next quarter. We're going to be releasing our first version of this switch that supports stacking. So we're going to be coming out with the Enterprise Campus 24S and Enterprise Campus 48S, which the S entails that they're going to be for stacking. And what's going to be different about these products is that you see the back here on this device. What we'll add to the back of this device is we'll add additional 2 100 gig ports on the back of the device, can be used for stacking and extending switches across multiple switch models into one virtual switch. So what's cool about this, for redundancy, you can have 4 switches stacked together, that if a single switch fails, you can still ensure that you have all that redundancy in that switch. So really nice feature that's coming. I know a lot of you probably use Cisco, and that's a big part of their offerings is stacking, but we'll have that option as another redundancy feature for use on the enterprise stack. So these switches will excel really well in whatever application. They pair really nicely with our enterprise access points, which have a 10 gig port on them. So you can connect those 10 gig ports in here into these campus switches and ensure that you get that 10 gig experience throughout the entire infrastructure. And what's cool about that is, for the first time with our new Wi-Fi 7 APs, you can really get to the point where switching can be a bottleneck. So when you're selling our new enterprise access points, make sure to consider multi-gig and how that actual having gigabit Ethernet can be a bottleneck on how much traffic that those APs can process with that 10 gig interface. And that's the first time that's been the case since I've been working with Wi-Fi for a long time, that we've seen LAN be a a bottleneck on Wi-Fi. So exciting times that we can do some really exciting things. And so this switch is really built to future-proof and to get you in the highest standard of switching for your organization, and has whatever features you need for an enterprise environment.
There are a few questions, Andrew, right now. I'll interrupt.
Let's hear.
Okay. Richard is asking, can we use Enterprise Manager on a private network with limited to no cloud access?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the cool things about UniFi. With all of our products, we offer really flexible hosting options. And I work with sometimes government customers who need to have a higher degree of security. And so you can totally air gap any of our products, have them disable the cloud access, even not have WAN connectivity, and you can totally restrict it on the firewall side of things, or just even behind the device, you can ensure that there's no connection out to the internet. So yeah, we support that, and that's no problem. And that's the same thing applies to our physical security products as well.
Okay. Joel, another question from Joel. Do you offer any virtual training programs?
Yeah, so we do have, we have physical in-person training programs, but we're also working on expanding our virtual trainings. We actually, on our website, you're going to see this. We just launched this last week. Something I'm involved with is we're now doing virtual trainings and webinars through. You can register them through our site. So here, just for the first time, we just launched that last week. And so now you can go register in advance for new sessions. Right now, we have a few webinar topics on schedule that we're going to go into certain categories, like getting started with our physical security platform, a few others. I'll be doing those, but we'll also be adding some more. Like, let's say we have a new version of the software come out. It's a big, it's a big release. It has a lot of features built into it. We're going to also be doing some webinars on smaller subjects like that. Like what's the newest software version, and what features does that include? So all that's going to be coming. So do check that out on our website. You'll just go to events on our new web page that we've redesigned. I can show you that maybe after we finish the slide deck. I'll take you through our new website. But that's one of the parts of it is you can register for virtual events and virtual training.
That's excellent news, Andrew. Another question from Joseph. I know SiteMagic supports 20 sites. Do you have an SD-WAN solution for more than 20 sites?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So we have that. You're speaking of the mesh SiteMagic, which is setting everything up in a mesh that supports up to 20 sites. But with hub and spoke configuration, and especially like, going back to a previous slide with their Fortress Gateway, you can have one of these in like your data center, or two of these in high availability. But basically, these can be the hub for your whole SD-WAN solution. So you can have multiple hubs, but you can have a hub and spoke solution that does 1,000+ sites with SiteMagic. So we released that within the last, I'd say about 6 months ago, but now extended from 20 sites, the limitation, to up to 1,000+.
Okay, and this last question for this segment from Joel. Also, when will we be able to use CyberSecure in the Caribbean?
That I do not know. So cybersecurity, what he's referring to is one of the things about being, targeting enterprise. So we're license-free model. We approach our business not wanting to charge licenses whenever we can. But what we've found is that there's some, especially enterprise customers, where they want to be able to pay for premium security features that require us to partner with someone else. And so that's where we partner with Proofpoint and Cloudflare with our cybersecure program. Basically, if you need more than the base level of security, which we include base feature, every feature we offer through cybersecure, we include for free, but it's using like the open source or community tier. So Proofpoint, who we partner with for our IDS definitions, our threat definitions, they have a higher tier. They have a community tier that's available to everyone, and we use that for the free customers, or for license free model, even with the EFG. But if you want to improve that, increase the number of definitions that are getting updated, you can take part of their enterprise tier of their threat definitions, which a lot of our competitors are actually using as well. And you can pay for that specifically if you want to pay for that. And it's not very expensive. It's something like $500 for a year for enterprise tier for a whole site. And there's not any gotchas with that license. It's just basically that's the price that we get it from them, and we are giving you the option to pay for it. You don't have to. We're not moving to a license model. It's just there to give you an option if you need higher security to pay for that cybersecure. So that's what he's referring to when he asked that question. And let me just clarify. I'm not sure about the status of availability in the Caribbean. I understood this is meant to be available in whatever region, and I will check on that after this. And hopefully I can get in touch with the Flytec guys, and we can get this and they can be in touch. They can give you an answer once I can get back to them.
Okay. Those are all the questions for now, Andrew.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on from switching, go to Wi-Fi. And I think this is these products are going to be probably the most demanded out of all of our enterprise products, just because, we're known for our Wi-Fi, and our products are really already with our U7 Pro, U7 Pro Max, U7 Pro XGS, all these different Wi-Fi 7 APs. I think we have a very competitive portfolio of Wi-Fi 7 APs, but the enterprise APs even add something beyond that. So if you guys are deploying any sort of enterprise, any of our enterprise competitors out there like Ruckus or Cisco, a lot of times we've offered products that are more affordable than theirs, and we tend to take, anytime that we're offering or come out with a new product, we want to find the right balance between features and costs that makes sense for the customer. Like if there's a feature that we could put in to charge you more for it, we don't want to do that just because we can. We want to be able to justify a real use case. Now, with us trying to target the enterprise market, it changes the scenario where we have more of a need to target some of those higher end features. And so with these new enterprise SKUs we released, the focus is including a lot more of those enterprise specific features that really, push the limits of what we can do with our access points, and are really competitive, like for like with our those other vendors I mentioned. So whatever products you're going to go look at from Ruckus, or if you have a customer that's you're competing with a bid with UniFi with a bid for Ruckus, you can go find the equivalent model. And I think you'll find with whatever Wi-Fi 7 AP they offer, we have a product that has parity with that spec for spec, but then comes at a more affordable price point and without the licensing. So it makes it really easy to compete with those quotes and to have a new solution. So with the new enterprise line, we've really kind of optimized for enterprise market, including redundancy being a core part of the offerings there. So what's cool about these products, they all have redundant PoE ports. What that means is if that primary cable fails, which you know how it is, you worked with Wi-Fi, the first thing, I used to be our lead of our wireless support, and the first thing whenever an access point goes offline, the number one reason that happens is because of a failed cable. So what's cool about this is, instead of having to get up there and replace that device, you have a secondary port that will keep that device online. So even if that cable fails, even if the port that's connected to on either the switch side or the AP side fails, you still have connectivity with that redundant PoE port. And this is great. And I think that you'll find that some of our competitors have that feature, some don't. But this is even an added benefit with UniFi, and with the price point, our E7 MSRP is $499 US. It's very aggressively priced, and it's going to compete with any of those with the omnidirectional APs on the Wi-Fi 7 line of any of these competitors I mentioned. Now, what's cool too, we also have these other models. The step up from the E7 is the E7 Campus, and this has some added features too. It's got a really nice mounting kit. So this is a directional access point. And so really for cases like in warehouses or in stadiums where you want a narrower sort of coverage area than omnidirectional, you have the option to use the E7 Campus, and that offers the added benefit too with this device of having Prism active RF filtering. What this means is it's something we pull from our AirMax line or for our UISP line. We can actually use hardware filtering to filter out interference on the same network. So for all of these APs that you have on the same network, we can have it set to automatically filter out interference from adjacent channels or from the same channel if there's noise in like a stadium environment. So this can lead to real improvement of improved performance. As you can see up there, adjacent interference can be reduced by as much as 1,000 times. And so it's really compelling feature. And I think you'll find that these products are really able to handle whatever skill you throw at them. We also have the E7 Audience, which is a replacement for our U6, our base station XG AP that was, and this difference here is that it's got two 6 gigahertz radios with one 5 gigahertz radio there. And we're hearing great things about these access points. We're getting a lot of great results. I was involved with the deployment in a pop-up event that had 25,000 client devices connected at the same time, and they used UniFi for this. They had to deploy it. They had to deploy the network in a week, and they used our E7 campuses. This was in an event center, so like you guys know, you've been to those events before, and you know how bad the Wi-Fi can be there. They had great results, and they were able to handle 25,000 concurrently connected clients, and they used the E7 campus for that in many cases, as well as the E7 in some cases, and the E7 Audience as well in like the auditorium section. But they use the E7 campus primarily, and they had really great results. The mounting kit on it's really nice. You get you can get exactly the directionality you want. It's got a little handle on it to help with mounting. And I really like the E7 campus as well as the other access points. But before I move on from this, I want to give you guys a chance to ask me some questions about these. Anything you want to know about our Wi-Fi 7 line on Enterprise?
Let me see. Well, I'm following the order of questions, maybe not necessarily to this, but here's
That's
the
fine.
next
Just
one
feel free to
from
ask me.
Steve. From
Yeah.
Steve. Does Ubiquiti work with Radius to set the VLAN with EAP-TLS certificates-based authentication?
So we do support certificate-based authentication. Like, you guys can leverage our identity platform, which we've made free for everyone, including one-click Wi-Fi. We also support the newest WPA3 encryption on the wireless, which means you can also use certificate-based. So you should have the option to do that for sure.
Okay. From Alan, a question: what are the costs for the content filtering?
The cost for the content filtering is just a part of the cybersecure platform, and as I remember last I checked, it was $499 US per year for your site, and that includes the enterprise threat definitions as well, which get updated more frequently. They also include some other benefits. I'll share with you a link to our let me get you a link real quick. I'll share with that can take you to our an explanation on what cybersecurity includes.
Okay. A question from Julio: what is type of data cable for MC lag?
So you'll get with it will work on any of the ports that you have connected. So basically any of the ports on the device. So you have the SFP28 and the QSFP28, the 100 gig ports. It can work on any of those ports. So anything that's connected to those switches can be set up in MC lag.
Okay. And another question here: are any of the enterprise equipment FIPS 140 certified specifically for police environments, or is this something coming in the near future?
So it's something I get asked about occasionally, FIPS certification. Now, this is one of the things about us that we try to keep our products as aggressively priced as possible, and these types of certifications can be very expensive for us to get. What I do know is that people are using our products in FIPS compliant environments, that they may need to use a third party FIPS certified gateway with the UniFi equipment behind that. But we do not have a FIPS certification on our products at this point, but it's something I have discussed with our security team, and we're definitely aware of there is demand for them. We're going to try to get some certifications in the future to help reach other environments like government and police. But I do know I work with government types of customers, and it can be done.
Okay. A question from Joe: for the EFG, how much does the deep packet inspection slow down the routing and throughput?
So when we have I'll just show you the numbers that we have. So these are based on, with all of our features enabled with IPS, IDS, and with security features, we're talking about it's about half reduction in performance over the other over the limit of what it can handle. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 25 gig WAN. We're talking about like 12.5 gigs, somewhere in there.
Okay, and these next three are about the access points from Austin. If a redundant PoE port fails, will UniFi alert that from the console?
Yeah, definitely. There'll be an alert that indicates that it's failed, and we've even introduced a full expanded alerting option to give you even more granularity and control to be able to set up specific notifications, a specific custom response, a ticket to be generated. You can set up any number of things based on that criteria. So yeah, it already alerts you, but it will also, you have more control over if you want to go beyond that and have you guys have your system, your ticketing platform create a ticket automatically. Whenever that happens, you can do that as well.
Okay, from Alan: what would be the UniFi access point equivalent to the Ruckus R550? I don't know if you're familiar with those.
So I don't know off the top of my head. I get asked all the time to do comparisons. What I would do is just go look at the specs on that unit and then go look at our techspecs.ui.com. I'll show you that in just a minute. But basically, we list all of our product specs there, and we also have on our product pages, you can see the comparison. The main thing you're going to look at is like how many spatial streams. So like when you see 10 by 10 Mumimo, a lot of other competitor products will have, if it's a Wi-Fi 7 product, it's probably either 10 by 10 or 12 by 12. And what that entails is They have maybe a 4x4 on 2 GHz, which means that's many spatial streams it can handle. It can handle a lot of times 4x4 on 2.4, 4x4 on 5, and 4x4 on 6. So in our case, the only difference you'll find with some of these competitor products for their Wi-Fi 7 line is we see 2.4 gigahertz as kind of being, especially in enterprise deployment, something you don't want to plan on using or relying on. In most deployments now, we have people that are turning off radios on 2/3 of the APs, some cases on 2.4 because of how much interference it creates because you've only got 3 channels to choose from. So that's the only difference that you're likely to find from any vendor product will be we have basically the same specs, but the only thing that may be different is they may not have a redundant PoE port, and we may not have 4x4 on 2.4 gigahertz. But the reality is you're likely to see virtually no performance impact of that because you really shouldn't have 100 devices connected to 2.4 gigahertz whenever you have 5 gigahertz and 6 gigahertz capable radios. So that's a generic answer, but what I think you're likely fine.
It's an excellent answer. Question from Joseph. How many E7s did they use for the 25,000 concurrent connections?
It was something like, so they had also wired clients. So I can't tell you what percentage of those clients were wired and wireless. We may have a case study on this that will come out in the future. You'll get all the details. But as I remember, they had something like 250 APs for this. And that has a lot to do with coverage. That has a lot to do with scale, but really they're trying to make sure that they had adequate coverage so that roaming was really good throughout the conference hall. And it's really hard to estimate how many clients, when we provide these client numbers on these APs, you'll see here, I just want to note this as well. And the coverage, these are all just meant to help you compare against other APs within our line. The reality is in real world environment, you don't want to plan on these devices connecting 1,000 concurrently connected devices at one time. That's not gonna be the best user experience, but it's just helping you kind of see what the actual limit of how many devices it can handle based on the chipset. So my rule of thumb is for these APs, like in E7, you want to plan on, it can handle easily 150 client devices without any problem at the very highest level. And E7 campus, same thing. E7 always can handle more than that as well. But generally, you want to plan for that as being like the general threshold of what's the best performance, what's having best performance, 100, 150 devices. Now, we can handle devices that are connected but not actively passing traffic. You can have 1,000 of those connected, which is why we say this. But the reality is if they're all moving traffic, you're not going to want them all on one AP anyways. So just make sure to know what your demand is. But generally, our design center can help you find really good planning with coverage. And then once you've done a deployment, I recommend doing a site survey to adjust, transmit power and things like that, and even maybe improve coverage by adding a few APs if there's areas where there's not good coverage and everything.
Okay, the last question here for this segment. How much coverage does the E7 campus and the E7 audience units have? I guess that's the area.
Yeah, it's very large, and these support AFC, so you can use these outdoors with Wi-Fi 7. What the cool thing about AFC is basically it takes with the use of AFC and with Wi-Fi 7 on the enterprise APs, you should roughly expect the same coverage you would see from the AP on 5 gigahertz. Normally, what you see was 2.4 has the greatest coverage, 5 gigahertz has the next most, but can handle more throughput, but it's lower range, and then 6 gigahertz is less range and even more throughput. With the use of extended range mode and everything, you can see roughly the same coverage you get with 5 gigahertz, which is nice. So it gives you more range. A lot of times 6 gigahertz. With these devices, you can rely on having your devices connect to 6 gigahertz all the time in a deployment much easier than you can with some of our other access points that have less coverage on 6 gigahertz.
Okay, those are all the questions so far.
Check it out on the design center, I'd say, so you can kind of get a visualization with the actual scale. But it's going to depend on a lot of factors. But really, the coverage is very nice on the campus, and I've heard very good things about the 6 gigahertz coverage, especially with the directional coverage that it has. It can really reach pretty far.
Okay, those are all the questions for now, Andrew.
All right, great. Well, let's move on then. Thanks for those good questions. Another product I want to mention is our enterprise. Let's move on to physical security now. Some of you may be doing physical security installs. Some of you might mainly specialize in network. I will say with UniFi, it makes it really easy for you to move, even if you're not experienced with physical security, to make the move into physical security. I do recommend everyone on this call, if you're not actively doing physical security deployments in your business, consider offering it because UniFi makes it really easy. It's all PoE based. It can all be integrated in the same software management stack. and installed on the same cloud gateways on the same consoles. And it really, it's like, let's say you have an Enterprise Fortress gateway, you have an Enterprise Network video recorder to manage your cameras. What's cool is that on our new a feature we've released is you can now have multiple different consoles running different applications, but you can still merge those together into one site as if it was all in one UDM Pro. So really, that's a way we've improved the product for large scale. You can now have, one ENVR, one EFG, and as well as you can have you can have a cloud key running the talk application on it, and you can have all these different devices that can scale up to more unified devices, all merged into one site as if it was all managed on the same device, but still have that more scalability. So definitely recommend on large deployments, anytime that you're pushing 10, 15 cameras. We have our UDM Pro Max, which has 2 hard drive bays in it. But anytime you're pushing 10, 15 cameras, I recommend getting a dedicated network video recorder device. And really, this device is great because it can handle whatever scale you need to throw at it. So we can handle up to 210 full HD cameras with the ENVR, which is a big increase from what we could do previously. And so now what's cool too with our product, we support Vantage Point, which it gives you the ability to merge multiple NVRs into one viewing dashboard. We can now support up to 5 of these ENVRs, each with 16 hard drive bays, all to be within one viewing dashboard. And so you can imagine the scale now. You can have 1,000 cameras on one site that you all keep in one Protect dashboard. And so that's really a huge improvement in scale. And one way that the enterprise product line actually is really growing our capabilities. I also will mention, I just saw the question come in, but we have security systems are all license free as well. Our cameras, everything is license free on UniFi Protect. We don't even offer a license of any kind on UniFi Protect. Even if you want to pay for it, we won't take it. So that's the reality on physical security. So great question. Appreciate you asking that. But yeah, this device is really handle whatever scale you need to throw at it. It runs both the it runs both the access application for door access control as well as Protect, our video surveillance platform. It can run both those software stacks. So you can manage all your doors with this device. You can manage all your cameras with one of these devices. And it's a great feature about this is it has an integrated SSD drive that the database runs on, which keeps it running really snappy and makes it very low latency to connect over the cloud and to do things through the device. So definitely recommend ENVR anytime you're getting up to 50 cameras, 60 cameras. Consider getting an ENVR. You'll need to anytime you get up to 50 cameras, pretty much. That's the limit of our UNVR Pro. So do recommend the ENVR. It's a great product, and it does really well, and I've heard really good experiences from customers who use this.
Are you familiar with the availability? Somebody's asking. It's hard to get right now, the ENVR, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot of demand for it, but we are working on that. We're working on getting more to amping up that manufacturing. And one thing you'll have seen on our, if you'll see from us, we've been improving our stock availability pretty dramatically, and that is making us way to Flytec and other distributors. We expect that to be addressed here in the next 2 or 3 months. We'll start getting some stock to fulfill the demand, but I think there's so much demand it'll take a little bit to be able to have it, to rely on it maybe in stock all the time. But that's our goal, right? And so I would expect to see some additional stock within the next month and a half already, and then as time goes on, we'll keep increasing that availability. So we are working on addressing any stock shortages on the ENVR. That's most likely where you're going to see it right now. Everything else I think is pretty much in stock. Now let's bring this to the last and the newest addition to our enterprise stack. I include this even though this is an enterprise SKU because this is our only camera model that's a part of our partner program. So this camera model will be included about the enterprise partner program, which means if you're an MSP that's going to register a deal through Flytec, you can get enhanced margin on this device. Its MSRP is $279, but you can get a nice enhanced margin on this if you register your deal with Flytec. So the features wise, this is a nice all-around flagship kind of tier camera. The G6 Dome includes AI, facial recognition, license plate detection, all that stuff. Sorry, this slide is wrong. It does not have 31x optical zoom. That's from our PTZ camera, but ignore that. But everything else is accurate on here. This is a a really nice camera for any use case, whether it be retail, education, enterprise. I think this camera will do really well. And I think you'll see a lot of demand for this, and customers really like this form factor. Now, let's before I move on from physical security, I want to just ask if there's any questions specifically about our physical security line that we haven't discussed. I will just read through the chats I see they've came in most recently. How long is the standard warranty for these enterprise products? Does that differ from regular products like the U6 or UniFi USW product lines? So it's the same warranty, but what's cool about all of our products is Flytec, as well as us directly, we offer UI Care. UI Care is a device protection plan that extends the warranty up to 5 years, which means if you have a failure anytime within the next 5 years on a licensed product, if you add on that to the product, then it means that you will get a equivalent replacement. If we don't have this, let's say that you bought a product now, 4.5 years from now, let's say we're not still manufacturing that product. I think all of our enterprise products probably will be by then, still be around. But if that isn't, what we have in the terms is that we'll upgrade that to you, or we'll find the equivalent model, or we'll upgrade it to you to the closest model at no cost. So it just includes in that one-time fee up front when you purchase the equipment. You have to buy it at the time that you're buying the equipment, so you can't activate it after the fact. So just let Flytec know if you want to buy UI Care on any products. They can offer you the UI Care on those products. It's about 20-30% of the MSRP of the product is about what the UI Care costs to extend the warranty out for 5 years. I think you'll find for enterprise customers especially, they all want to pay that to get that 5-year warranty because of the peace of mind it affords. And really, we'll try to overnight, especially people in the United States, we'll try to overnight any replacement. We'll ship it as quickly as we can, and if we can, we'll overnight it to you to get the replacements with a return label. So yeah, definitely is a UI Care is a great option. It's something I do recommend that you purchase if you're concerned about warranty periods. I see another one. Are there customizable alerts for door readers? Can door readers trigger camera actions? Yeah, we do have customizable alerts for door readers in the alarm manager, and you will be able to do a lot of different custom triggers for that. You can do things like play audio. You can play audio. Let's say you can have a door alarm set that if a door is open, then it will, between these hours, it will automatically play an alarm. You can do all sorts of custom triggers and custom responses, and really have a lot of granular control over how you handle your physical security and that sort of thing. All right, and Austin, thanks for telling us about your UI Care, your RMA experience. So thank you. And then, does camera software provide the ability to define camera zones, identify people and vehicles? Absolutely. Yep, we have the ability. You can customize which zones that you actually want to look for motion or for detection. You can also set privacy zones. So let's say that you're deploying UniFi in a medical clinic, and you need to have any place where there's going to be like financial information or HIPAA compliance. For HIPAA compliance, you need to black out any areas where there could be customer medical information being displayed. You can have like the screen draw a box around the computer screen where they're going to be taking that, showing that data, and you can make sure that it's not being included on any of the recordings for compliance purposes. So you have full control over that, and you can also specify which areas you want to include detections in. So like, let's say you're looking out at a busy street, your parking lot includes within the view of a camera. It shows the parking lot and it shows a busy street next to it. You may not want to turn on the detections for all the cars on the street, but for anything that turns into the parking lot, then you can turn on for that area where the detections will happen, where it will automatically detect the vehicle, things like the type of vehicle and also the license plate recognition. You can have that set up to only show once they get within the parking lot itself. And is UI Care available in Puerto Rico? I am not entirely sure, to be honest. I think it probably is, but
we asked a couple of weeks ago, and it's not available. That's the information we received directly from Ubiquiti.
Yeah, I expect it to be in. We're expanding it across the world, so I expect to be, within the next few months to be available in a lot more regions, and I think that would include Puerto Rico. But do stay tuned. Reach out to us if you have any questions about that. All right, and then one other question I got was, when is SuperLink coming out? SuperLink is our new alarm sensor platform that we've announced. We have SuperLinks already released. It's already available for purchase, but we'll be releasing individual sensors that will be released within. I would expect these to start shipping and be available with this quarter. For start releasing those sensors, we do have the UP Sense, which is already released. You can use that with SuperLink, but specifically the new SuperLink sensors, I think those will start shipping this quarter. All right, let's move on. A few more things I just want to cover real quick, but just giving you an idea of how we have, high availability built into mission critical reliability with the enterprise stack. Here you can see all the different redundancy options that you have available. You can have redundant path to every device you see here, including, between the gateways have shadow modes. There's no single point of failure across the whole network stack, including the cables that are going to the enterprise MVR. It has redundant Ethernet ports that you can also have 2 cables ran there, that then if one of them fails, it will automatically unblock the other and then use that for its connectivity. But I think that's a big selling point, something you want to make sure to emphasize with your customers. If you're selling UniFi, is make sure to emphasize how enterprise really gives you a much greater level of assurance that if you deploy it properly, that you can have no single point of failure and ensure that the network's always up whenever it's needed. All right, so I'm going to cover this real quick, just real briefly, as the Enterprise Partner Program. I want to just give you a little bit of information about what this includes. Our Enterprise Partner Program is something new. We've been asked for this for a long time, but Enterprise Partner Program, what the idea of it for us is, we're basically set up on these new products I mentioned in this call today. If you're an MSP or an integrator, you can go, and when you're ordering products through Flytec, they offer for some of the regions, they offer enterprise products. You can purchase these enterprise through them, and you can register deals with them to get increased profitability. So these products, if you're an MSP or an integrator, we've built into the product the ability to get extra margin on top of what you normally get with UniFi, which will improve the profitability, and makes it much more comparable to some of our competitor products, the margin you see from them. So I've heard a concern over the years from a lot of MSPs that it's not as profitable to sell UniFi. I think we've done a number of things to address that, but I think these enterprise products will really, and the partner program itself, will allow you to access increased profitability. We also have a pre-sales. We provide pre-sales resources for our partners like Flytec to be able to say you have a really high-end deployment that you're going to be doing with UniFi Enterprise. You want extra assistance on that deployment and have some questions. We have a dedicated email that can answer these types of questions, and we've also provided some training to Flytec to be able to help handle this themselves. And our products that we mentioned today are the highest end hardware that we have available and offer the highest end functionality. So these can help handle whatever scale. And I think that's one of the real benefits of the enterprise stack. If you have any deployment where you're ever questioning, is this UniFi network capable of handling blank? The answer is yes. So we have whatever kind of scale that you need covered with this. We've got the whole stadiums deployed with UniFi with the enterprise stack. And I really think this is a big selling point for why you want to be a part of this program. So these are some of the benefits of our partner program. And then we also are collecting, continuous product improvement feedback. So anytime you run into a feature that's missing on our enterprise stack, please let us know. I'll let you know where we're at on it, or we'll make sure that if it's not on the roadmap, it's added. But we've been chipping away on every feature that customers have been requesting on the enterprise products, and I think we're really have some good parity with our competitor products right now. So what's required for this product? If you want to take advantage of this partner program, you just have to register your deals. So when you're going to do a deployment, you're going to contact Flytec and tell them, hey, we want to deploy products with the enterprise partner program, and you'll be able to register the deal. And anytime that you're going to use one of these products, the enterprise, any of the SKUs I mentioned in this call, including the cameras, the U6 domes, any of these cameras are included in this program. You can register a deal, and you'll just reach out to them, and they'll be able to help you get access to this program. You'll provide some basic details about where it's being deployed, and this is just to make sure that's actually going to being installed, and it's going is actually going to not be resold or compromise that value. And so that's what we're basically doing, is just making sure it's going to real deployment, collect some basic information there. But once we verify that, we'll approve it, and then you'll be able to access that enhanced margin that I mentioned, which is 20-30% for all of our SKUs on this program. Now, I will note you just have to be an MSP to access this. End users, we don't offer this for end users, and it's only accessible through our enterprise distributor partners, which Flytec is one of those. And let's just so you guys have a heads up too of what some of the things we offer with professional services. We have pre-sales assistance. You guys can register these high-end deals and get extra assistance. We've also got professional phone support now, which includes up to 24/7 support. You can also purchase this through Flytec when you're deploying a enterprise deployment, and we have UI care as well. So between these three different, we provide these types of services to be able to meet the needs of enterprise customers. And I think you'll find with our 24/7 support, with UI care, extended warranties, and our extra pre-sales assistance we provide, including our UniFi experts, you can get access to all these resources to help you be more successful. And I think you'll find that this will help you be more profitable in your business as well, and lead to a more happy end customer with what they get. So we've got a few case studies up where we can highlight this. So go to casestudies.ui.com. I'll throw in the URL here. Check that out for some case studies if you want. But we have one for the FedEx form here, including a video we show. And we also have a lot of other resources for you to take advantage of. And, this is an example of the design center used for deploying at the FedEx forum for designing the network there. We've also got other case studies, including like a large retirement home, which they use UniFi, the Enterprise Fortress gateways, and some of the other enterprise SKUs as well to do this. But these are the types of deployments we can handle, very large scale deployments, and UniFi gives you that ability now with the new enterprise products. That's it from my presentation. We're about out of time, but if there's anyone else that has any questions before I take off, I'm happy to answer those for you. But I've also got this list of resources. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you're welcome to do so. But that's it for me for my presentation today.
Okay, I'll just add a couple of things, Andrew. Thank you very much. Very, very interesting and useful for our customer base, installers, integrators, to make more money in their businesses, to compete against all those other brands that we mentioned, especially with the no licensing fees on the hardware feature that UniFi offers. And here at Flytec, again, our warehouse is in the Miami area, millions of dollars of UniFi stock right now. Next day shipping all of Florida with UPS ground and in-house tech support. So, and we're going to put the link to register your projects there again. So please do that so you can get special pricing on the specific UniFi Enterprise SKUs. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, everyone. Take care and have a great day.